Okay, so let's do this. Now, what are fallacies? Now, this again is a very, very interesting class and a very interesting concept. Okay, fallacy is nothing but a line of reasoning which looks very good. ऐसा reasoning जो सुनने में तो सही लगता है, लेकिन भैया वो सही reason तो नहीं है, क्योंकि ultimately on closer on scrutiny you will say that it is very weak in supporting the main argument. It's very weak but it looks to be a good argument. इसीलिए fallacy बोलते हैं. Fallacious argument का मतलब है देखने में तो सही लगता है, भाई हो तो सकता है, लेकिन वही एक होगा कारण, ये कहना बड़ा मुश्किल है. Okay, and there are many different fallacies that we adopt in everyday communication. हर दिन करते हैं, ठीक है? And every person who wants to control or say have control over his communication and convince the other person whether it's right or wrong, he tries to employ fallacious arguments. So let's start. Okay, let's start and see what fallacious arguments are. The first one is a logical fallacy is an error in reasoning that renders an argument inaccurate or invalid. या तो inaccurate कर देता है, ऐसा एक error reasoning में, ऐसा एक error, like if I say 2 plus 3 is equal to 7, then sir there is a problem. There is a problem. Now again, 2 plus 3 is equal to, I say 23. You might say this is possible, but in our what we have learned and what this operation is to add, not concatenate, not to add two strings. Okay, this is a possibility, but a remote possibility, weak possibility. So we say 2 plus 3 is equal to 5 is a better option. That's what is called a fallacy. Okay, it need not, I'm not saying that the reason given will be an absolute no. It is a possibility, but then there is very little chance of that happening. Okay, given the data. So, okay, then, okay. This is the first class. This is absolutely the first class on fallacies. Okay. So let's move to the next one. You can, Ishmit, for every class that you missed out before this, okay, there have been classes, but those classes are not from this topic, so don't worry, not from this topic. But if you want to see the other topics, you can write to support@edushastra.com and ask them for access. Okay. Now, okay, students are still joining. So, a logical fallacy is an error in reasoning that renders an argument inaccurate or invalid. Well, now, come to the next one. An argument may involve distorting or manipulating facts, drawing false conclusions. The data point in a different direction, and I'm drawing a different conclusion. Okay, or distracting you from the issue at hand. These are all fallacious. In theory, it seems like they would be pretty easy to spot, but this is always the case. When somebody is making a false argument, it seems we would be able to catch them. Okay, we all are very logical, sir. So we are very rational. We would be able to catch the other person, but it's not always the case. That's why, especially politicians are able to very easily distract us very easily, because we are not ready to do our own legwork. Okay, whatever data is presented and whatever conclusion is presented on the data, you accept it on face value. Then the problem is, it looks to be very good. It's not easy to spot. But if there is an argument, try to go underneath and find out the basis, the premise on which that argument is being made. And you will identify immediately whether the conclusion being made is on flimsy grounds or solid grounds. See, if I misrepresent the data, then it can point in any different direction. Okay. Do you have access to the data? Do you know what that data is? So if you really want good, say, if you want to evaluate an argument completely, then you go for the premise on which it stands and try to understand. Okay. So let's come to that. First one is causation, correlation. Now you will also see some names here. These are Latin names. Now, why did you include them, sir? Why do you want us to learn such fancy expressions? Because some exams may actually not use the causation correlation word. They may start using the Latin terms. And then you get shocked. I never studied these, whereas you have, because we did this causation correlation. Okay, so causation correlation is the same fallacy as come hoc ergo propter hoc. I'll tell you what those are. And post hoc ergo propter hoc. Okay, this is nothing but come hoc ergo propter hoc is what is the English for this? With this, come hoc, with this, ergo is therefore because of this. इसके साथ हुआ इसीलिए इसके चलते हुआ. A के साथ B हुआ, A के साथ B हुआ इसीलिए A ने B को करवाया, और कुछ बात नहीं है. हाँ, पोस्ट हॉक ergo propter hoc, एक के बाद एक हुआ, एक साथ हुआ, एक के बाद एक हुआ इसीलिए इसके चलते A के चलते B हुआ. Okay, English. Okay, this come hoc ergo propter hoc. Two events happen together. With this, A and B happen together. Therefore, I make one the reason for the other. Okay, come hoc ergo propter hoc. Now, the next one is post hoc ergo propter hoc. A and B happen one after the other. A and B happen one after the other. So I make A the reason for B. It may be the case, may not be the case. Okay, so we cannot say for certain. So the conclusions drawn should not be taken for granted. You should do some more investigation and then say whether the conclusion is correct or incorrect. Now, how will this help us in our critical reasoning? Sometimes these questions are directly asked. Identify the fallacy given in the statement. Now, you are to do it directly. And other times, this is woven into a question. And if you have knowledge of these fallacies, then you can very easily identify, like strengthening arguments, weakening arguments, etc. If you have knowledge of this, those become very easy. Okay, so what is causation correlation? Just because two events can be correlated in some way, it does not make one the cause for the another. Does not make one cause for the another. Read the example. My mother saw my brother closing the door of the fridge and munching on something. Two things happening together that your mother saw. She later found that the cake she had left for my father had vanished. Okay, she saw the brother and the cake vanished. Hence, she said that my brother must have eaten. Okay, there are two events that happened. One happened before the other. Okay, just because your brother was coming out of the kitchen and was munching, your mother says he must have eaten it. Whereas it is also a possibility somebody else ate it. Okay, we cannot say that he must have eaten. He could have eaten. He may have eaten it. Would be a better conclusion. Therefore, you see the choice of words. Okay, the conclusion looks okay enough, but on closer look, you would say, sir, do not use must. Say may, because it is not the only possibility. It's not the only possibility. This is called post hoc ergo propter hoc. Do cheezein ek saath hui. Two things happened at the same time, one after the other. So I hold one responsible for another. Another example is the new prime minister took over, and the costs and inflation has started inflation has started skyrocketing. So it is all because of the economy doesn't want this prime minister. The economy doesn't want this prime minister. That may be the case. There could be causes which were before that, not because of the prime minister, something else. That's also a possibility. Okay, so post hoc ergo propter hoc is a fallacy. Okay, and today, in today's India, people are using fallacies left, right, and center, both for and against. Okay, and we are consuming all that as if we are so gluttonous. इतनी भूख लगी है, हमको हर आर्गुमेंट सही लगता है, अपना दिमाग नहीं चला रहा भाई. ठीक है, I am surprised how the anti-party says something, the pro-party says something, but there is no middle ground. Nobody is ready to look into either side. Okay, don't turn into extremist thinking. That is not required, man. We live in a free country, so we can think liberally. You don't have to be dictated by others. Okay, so this is a very good class for all that. Okay, we can develop our own independent thinking. We need not be forced on by others. Start respecting ourselves. First of all, let's start respecting ourselves as individuals. Okay, we don't have to be driven by others. This is one important message I want to give you, because our country is going through, see, every decade, every time, okay, societies undergo transitions. This is another transitional period. Okay, this also will get over. But what are we going to give to our posterities? What are we going to give to our children? Okay. Make that, because what you give for them, they'll be transitioning in a different way. But if you give them good, they'll take good. If you are going to give them bad, then that's what is going to happen. And you know for better. Everybody's judgment, opinion is correct, in my view. I'll not go for a fight, because if you have solid grounds, everybody is correct. If you do not have solid ground, then it's a wasteful thing. Anyway, let's leave that. Let's come back to what we were doing. And this is very relevant. Okay, causation, correlation, we have understood one of the examples. There is one more example. Just because two events can be correlated. Now, another example. If you think about it, vegetables are bad for you. Why? I mean, after all, the dinosaurs ate plants, and look at what happened to them. Sometimes such reasoning is ridiculous. Fallacious arguments are ridiculous. At other times, they look very good. On scrutiny only, you will be able to find out. Okay, in the previous one, the choice of words, must and may, you needed to look closely. Now, this is ridiculous. You can laugh at this. Kya baat kar rahe ho? Bakwas mat karo. What we say in Hindi. Okay, so if you think about it, vegetables are bad for you. I mean, after all, the dinosaurs ate plants, and looked at what happened to them. Now, is it only because they were vegetarians that they went extinct? Okay, come hawk, ergo propter hawk. Now, this is happening together. Okay, two things happened together. They ate vegetables, and they also became extinct. But one becomes the cause for the other. No, can't say. Okay, and it's also ridiculous. Now, let's look at the second. This one, the second fallacy, straw man. Okay, straw man. What is a straw man, sir? This involves taking out a remotely relevant or a non-existent aspect of an argument, not the person or anything. Okay, somebody is making an argument. Okay, suppose A is saying something. Okay, A is saying something. I take one aspect of this. Okay, I take one aspect of this and attack that aspect. Maybe he said something about C. That is the weakest in his argument. I take that and start attacking this. I leave the main point altogether. What he was discussing, I leave it altogether. And I also, and attacking is the misrepresented argument. Politicians are great at using this trick to attack an opponent. Okay, just say, I said something. So suppose I'm making an argument. I first of all twist it. पहले मरोड़ देता हूं उसको. आपकी बात को पहले मरोड़ता हूं. ठीक है, एवर सो लाइटली. और उस मरोड़े हुए बात को ही मैं चैलेंज करता हूं, ना कि ओरिजिनल आर्गुमेंट को. नाउ लुक एट दिस. Ram says showers are beneficial. Showers are beneficial. Okay. Meenu says, but hot water may damage your skin. Man, I'm talking about showers. I'm neither saying hot, cold. I'm not saying anything. You're taking one aspect of it. Hot showers could also be one of those, but you will take this, and if you start attacking, इससे तो skin खराब हो जाता है, वो हो जाता है, ये हो जाता है, अगर करो तो you're only talking about one aspect. You're not talking about showers in general. Okay, this counter argument by Meenu assumes or misrepresents extremely hot water, which may not even have been suggested by Ram. Ram शायद कहा भी नहीं था. This is straw man fallacy. Straw man में क्या होता है? ओरिजिनल आर्गुमेंट से एक पार्ट को ओरिजिनल आर्गुमेंट से एक पार्ट को उठाया, अलग कर लिया, उसी को अटैक करना, ना कि मेन आर्गुमेंट को. दैट इज कॉल्ड अ स्ट्रॉ मैन. डिड यू अंडरस्टैंड? Did you understand? Yes, all of you. Okay, so let's move to the next one. One more example. Prosecution authority. Read this and see if you can spot the straw man. If you can spot the fallacious argument. Read this. Read the explanation also. Neetu is finding it very hard to join the class. I don't know why. So did you understand? Did you understand? One precedence. Okay, in this case, if this person be let to go because there is not enough evidence, that the judge decides on the evidence. Okay, just because lack of evidence in one case, so I let one person go, a robber go, so a robbery case, I don't punish them as much as I should. Okay, the attorney is saying no. If you do this, it sets up a bad precedence. Why will it set a bad precedence? Just one case cannot be the case for see. Some few may not mean all. Some and more, some and many may mean all. Okay, but one case is not even many. It's very close to being zero. Okay, so one case cannot necessarily be said to say. It may happen, but there is very less chance. The prosecution attorney, whatever argument he's making, he's not completely wrong. Out of 100, he's 1% wrong only. He's 1% correct only. Okay, because he's fighting with one case and trying to make a point for the universal set that we have already done, even in syllogisms. Okay, so this is called strawman fallacy. Now come to the next one. Strawman can also take another shape. Usko hum log bolte hain argumentum ad hominem. Strawman, one is where I take the argument, twist it, and then I attack it. Sometimes what I do is I forget the argument. Kya bola usko bhul jata hu. Who said it? Who said it becomes the main point for attraction or for attacking. Okay, that is happening in our political world. You see that. Okay, both sides, the ruling side and the opposite side. We take the person, make fun of him. We do everything we want to do with that person, but where is that argument? What was the argument being made? This guy is that way. This guy is that way. Okay, so this involves attacking the person making the argument and not the argument itself. This fallacy involves trying to appeal to people's opinions and proving an argument valid, saying that it's a valid argument because the person is not good or the person is very good. The person is very good, therefore his policies are good, very good. The person is not a good person, therefore all the policies he makes are bad policies. Okay. Not because of the personality. We actually look at the argument. Okay, say a very weak person may develop a machine which can do really big tasks. You cannot say, oh, he's so thin. How can he make that machine? Okay, that kind of arguments are called argumentum ad hominem. Argumentum against the person. Hominem is person. So strawman also can be an argumentum ad hominem. Okay, now, during the time Mr. Alex was the principal of the college saw a dip in the admissions because Mr. Alex is a man of extreme beliefs. His beliefs are detrimental to the society. Now, this conclusion you're drawing is based on the person, not on the marketing strategy or what is happening, what is inherently wrong with the college itself. The person is attacked and not the argument itself, that college admissions dipped because of Mr. Alex's beliefs. मैं क्या विश्वास करता हूं इसलिए मेरा बिजनेस मार खा रहा है. Okay, maybe the case until and unless you have the data to connect my belief to dipping admissions, you cannot arbitrarily say this. Okay, मैं ये नहीं बोल रहा कि गलत ही होगा. I am not saying that ये सब चीजें गलत ही होती. Yes, Ishmi. Okay, second one. Okay, now come to the next one. Pegging the question or circular argument. Pegging the question or circular argument. Circular arguments are especially very easily understood by trying to solve something which will never be solved, but then we will try to think that we have already solved it, like the dog chasing its tail, going round in circles. Okay, but neither the premise nor the conclusion was ever proved because on a flimsy premise, देखना यहाँ पर मैं क्या करता हूँ. Flimsy premise पकड़ता हूँ. Premise itself is bad. Okay, उस पे मैं एक conclusion draw करता हूँ. चूंकि आपका भैया the premise itself is shaking, the conclusion is bound to shake. But having made the conclusion on a flimsy premise, with this conclusion, I try to prove the premise. So this becomes the premise and this becomes the conclusion, and this becomes the premise and this becomes the conclusion. Now A and B, now look at this. A becomes the premise, which is a very weak premise. On that I draw a conclusion. Therefore, the conclusion is weak. Now I try to make this the premise for proving that A is the conclusion. So you are going round in circles, not proving anything. Okay, look at the example. Because devil exists, I believe that devil makes me do evil to people. Because there is a devil, therefore I'm evil. Because I am evil, therefore there is devil. You can go on, because both will never be proved. We start with an unproven belief, devil exists, and with that you justify a conclusion. The person may use the same argument by stating that because he believes in devil is making him do evil, therefore devil exists. ये भी कर सकता है, ठीक है? तब क्या हो जाएगा? Both will, we will be asking, we'll be begging the question, where is the solution? Where is the solution? Where is the premise? You'll keep asking the question. So begging the question or going circular arguments. Okay, now this is one of those. Now, one false dichotomy. Now, this is also a beautiful fallacy to know and be able to understand. And this we employ in all the time. When we are angry, we think little and we start using irrational arguments. You know very well when we are making this argument, but we still do that all the same. False dichotomy or black and white fallacy. Black nahi hoga to white hi hoga, white nahi hoga to black hi hoga. As if there are no shades of gray or black. Okay, there are no shades of gray or no shades of black or white, you say. Okay, what we say is black nahi hoga to white, white nahi hoga to black. There is no middle ground, or there are no other possibilities. Okay, that is also a wrong fallacy. It may be true, but it need not necessarily be true. Okay, remember, fallacies are always false conclusions which may be completely invalid or which may be inaccurate, not necessarily true. Okay, this fallacy is employed to convince that only two opposite options of an argument exist and no other. These are presented as an either or argument. Ya to ye, ya to ye. Okay, now look at the first example. If Vinod sir has not answered my query in the chat box, he has chosen not to. He has ignored me. Now maybe I did not even see the chat box. Maybe there were too many chats and your chat went before I could notice it. Or I've chosen not to simply because that is not the right time to answer that question. So there could be so many reasons. But when you are, when your ego is hurt, okay, we start making fallacious arguments. We say, if Vinod sir has not answered my query in the chat box, then he has ignored me. Okay, so that is a fallacy of false dichotomy. Okay, come to the second one. If you are buying an expensive TV, you must be using your credit card. Now, why? If you are buying an expensive TV, it must be bought through credit card. There could be so many things. Why should I be taking a loan? Maybe I have savings. Maybe even if I did not have savings, okay, I got a bonus, something. Why should it only be by credit card? Okay, so if it is not this, then this. If it is expensive, then this must be this. So X or Y. We are talking about only two options. This is called false dichotomy. Okay, if somebody is lying, then if somebody is not telling the truth, then he's lying. Now there is a word called prevaricate. I'm not coming to the point, but I'm not exactly telling a lie. Okay, I'm not exactly telling a lie. That is also false dichotomy. Okay, then come to the next one. Red herring. This fallacy looks like straw man, but slightly different. Look at this. This fallacy is employed by sidetracking from the main argument and falsely present the irrelevant issue to settle the main argument. Now, in straw man, what were we doing? We were attacking the argument. We were not giving a solution. In red herring, what you do is you take an argument, the main argument. It was posing a problem. It was actually talking about a problem or an issue that was at hand. Okay. Now what I do is I completely move away from that topic. I take some other issue and solve that. And because I have solved that, I say that I've also solved the main argument. Okay. And you are avoiding the main issue. Okay. That is called red herring arguments, red herring fallacies. इसमें क्या होता है? Red herring and straw man, how are they different? Straw man is I take your argument, a weaker point of your argument, and attack the argument itself. I'm not trying to give a solution. In red herring, we try to find a solution or a resolution to the problem by taking one aspect of the argument and trying to find a solution to that. Okay. Suppose somebody wants to eat. Okay. And you say, hey, you must also be thirsty. So, well, take a glass of water. So that is settled. So what happened to my hunger? That is called red herring. Okay. So this fallacy is employed by sidetracking from the main argument and falsely present the irrelevant issue to settle the main argument. This argument is diverted to avoid the main issue. Did you understand, Beta? Did you understand this? The difference between a straw man and a red herring? Yes? Good enough. Now let's read the. If you have any issues, you should be asking me. Getting it, sir. Okay. Now, there is a lot of talk about the need to eliminate pesticides. Okay. There is a lot of talk about the need to eliminate pesticides from our fruits and vegetables. But fruits and vegetables come with a lot of benefits. You see, I have very cleverly shifted it to the benefits, from the harmful effects to the benefits. And then I start giving you like a solution to eat vegetables. Carrot gives us vitamin A. Broccoli is rich in iron. Grapefruits have a lot of vitamin C. So in a way, what I'm suggesting is you should eat vegetables. But what about that main argument of pesticides? Okay, so you will observe that very cleverly the arguer moves the argument from the main issue of the pesticides and brings it to the benefits of consuming fruits and vegetables and makes a case for consumption of vegetables and fruits. But eliminating the pesticides is not talking about. Okay, so this is called red herring. Let's try the next one. Appeal to authority. Now this is another one. This is employed by advertisers all the time. Okay. And Varakandyam means authority. Because I'm an expert in one, so I must automatically be an expert in another. Because I have the experience in one, I must automatically be experienced in something else. Now this happens at home. Mom and dad, okay, they always invariably come up with this argument. It may be true, but it is not necessarily true. That is, I say, I've been on this earth for much longer than you are. We gave birth to you. So what we say is correct. They may not know everything, every aspect of everything that you are discussing with them. But it's in our it's in our ego and in our belief system that just because we are aged, we are also experienced, and it is relevant to each and every aspect of what you're saying. So you should accept me. Okay. So appeal to authority. This is also done by advertisers. Amitabh Bachchan sir advertising for a product which he may not even know. Okay. Now, girls' products. Okay, like L'Oreal. And say Aishwarya Rai says, I use L'Oreal and that and this, whatever. Does she even use it? First of all, first question is, does she even use it? One. The second is, how is she an expert? Is she a trichologist? But because they are people, they are in popular belief, they are very popular, or because I believe that they are an expert in one, it makes them an expert in other fields also. Okay. MS Dhoni is a very good captain. So I make him the CEO of a company because he'll also be able to manage the company well. He can manage a team well on the field. So he'll also be able to manage a company. And if I give him the post of a CEO, okay, he may turn out to be a very good manager. He may not. Who knows? Okay, because his authority in one does not make him an authority automatically for the other. Okay, so this fallacy is employed by advertisers to convince people just because one is an expert or an authority in one field, he's depicted automatically as an expert in other fields. MS Dhoni, invest in mutual funds and secure your future. Just because Dhoni is an expert in the cricket field, we cannot take him to be an expert in financial matters also. And this list can go on and on. Okay. Question number 1. Now use these also. Use these concepts apart from whatever I've already taught you, and tell me most weaken the public safety officials' claims. Which one will most weaken the argument? What is the argument made in the passage? A sure sign that these legal measures have been successful in preventing motorists from driving while under the influence of alcohol. Sarthak, we have to weaken that statement, the last statement, a sure sign that these legal measures have been successful in preventing motorists from driving while under the influence of this one. Okay. So what has happened? The number of restaurants and pubs permitted to sell alcohol in the province, just because the numbers increased with the population, people have started drinking more and still not getting, and because of the people have started drinking more, therefore, or started drinking less, therefore, the legal or started drinking more, therefore, the legal aspects, the legal measures have brought this one. Is that what you think? Sochna jara. The number of restaurants and pubs permitted to sell alcohol in the province. Yes, the answer is very good. Now you get it. Just because the number increased, number of pubs selling alcohol, does it also mean that just because I'm selling alcohol, the rate of consumption has also gone up? And because of legal measures, it has been brought down. Can you make that guess? Can't. We don't have enough information. So though the fourth one will weaken the statement, but then we'll require some more information to say that for certain. Third, increased access to public transportation and ride-sharing applications has cut the number of drivers in the province by more than half. Now the drinking is the same. The drinking is the same, but driving has reduced. Drinking is the same. So even if, let's also take the fourth one to be true. Fourth one also happens. Okay, the population has increased. Even say restaurants and pubs have started selling more alcohol. People have started drinking more. But still, I cannot attribute the decrease in drunken driving, okay, because of increased, say, legal measures, okay, increased police vigilance. If third were true, तीसरा अगर सही हो जाता है तो ज्यादा पियो या कम पियो, पब्स खुले या ना खुले, लेकिन पब्स वाला तो मैं बाहर से ले जाके डाल रहा हूँ इसमें पैसेज में, पब्स खुले या ना खुले, कुछ भी करो, ठीक है, whether I drink more or less, it is not because of the police that drunken driving has come down. It's because of some other thing. Public transportation, ride-sharing applications, people have started using them more. Okay, so we cannot attribute that reduction in drunken driving to policing. Do you get the point? So understand this sentence very, very well. If you want to attack this, then you need to understand legal measures have brought it down. Is it legal measures? or something else. Now, second one, the population. Third is the correct answer. The population in the inner province has increased at a lower rate than the populations of neighboring provinces. No effect. Okay, just because it has decreased, it does not mean people have started drinking less also. Okay. But then even then it is increasing. See, the population is still increasing. So which will mean if they drink at the same level also, the numbers should go up. Numbers should go up. Okay. Which will the population, and we cannot say for certain that drinking has gone up or down. Okay, so we cannot find a reason that legal measures have actually worked. Okay, since 1998, the number of lawmakers focusing on defending those arrested for driving. Just because the lawyers are defending, there are many lawyers, does not mean that the police have been ineffective. The police have caught them, they went to the court, and then they got saved. So it will actually strengthen the argument. It will actually, in a way, strengthen the argument. So third is the correct option. Very good. Increased access to public transportation and ride-sharing options. Very nice. What? Not able to reach the answer. See, because fourth also we consider. Fourth also we consider. Second also we consider. And the third we consider in spite of everything. पुलिस के चलते ड्रंकन ड्राइविंग कम हुआ है. मुझे बोलना है कि पुलिस के चलते नहीं, और किसी चीज के लिए, बस इतना ही करना. अब बताओ आज तक पुलिस के चलते कम नहीं हुआ है. ठीक है, इंक्रीज्ड लीगल मेजर्स के चलते कम नहीं हुआ है, और किसी चीज के लिए कम हुआ है, ये बोलना है. दैट इज व्हाट इज टू बी सी. बस हो गया. क्लियर? सो अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट इज टू बी अटैक्ड वेल, एंड देन यू विल अंडरस्टैंड. तब तो फिर तुरंत ही हो जाता है. देन यू कैन वेरी इजीली फाइंड द आंसर. Fourth and second is different. See, the fourth is different because it will not be able to say that legal measures are not have not been effective. The number of restaurants and pubs permitted to sell alcohol in the province. इसका मतलब क्या है कि drunkards बढ़ गए होंगे. Drunkards बढ़ गए होंगे. उसके बाद भी आप इसको नीचे रख रहे हो. Drunken driving को नीचे रख रहे हो. So what is happening? The police have been effective. It is supporting it. समझ में आ रहा है? Fourth is not weakening it. I'm sorry, I said it's weakening it. Abhi main dobara padha to it's actually supporting it. Suppose number of restaurants and pubs permitted to sell alcohol in the province has increased since 1998 at approximately the same rate of as the province's population. So people are drinking more. Can very easily be the inference. People are drinking more. So if people are drinking more and they are driving their cars, then there must be more drunken driving. So the police must be effective. That's why the rate is coming down. Okay. Now the second one, the population in the province has increased at a lower rate than the populations of neighboring provinces, but still drunken driving must be more and the police must be effective. Second is also strengthening it. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I wasn't thinking. Okay. Second is also strengthening it. Fourth is also strengthening it. Even the first is in a way strengthening the argument, not weakening the argument. There is only one argument which we consider, that is third. I'm really sorry. कैसे मैं उल्टा पड़ गया? ठीक है. I said weakening it. They are not weakening it. They are strengthening it. Now try the second one. Sometimes I'm not there in the question. So the explanation was bad to begin with, and then I thankfully बच गया सही समय पर. Can you spot the argument में? Can you spot the fallacy? Argument में can you spot the fallacy? One of the policy. Yes, Shyam, very good. And he's eating both. Okay. So two things happening at the same time. Okay. So I make one the cause for the other. The passage claims that the dietary differences, that is between GMO food and GMO plus non-GMO food, okay, that must be the reason why GMO food people, okay, GMO food people or non-GMO food people develop the risks of disease, diabetes slowly, because they eat non-genetically modified food. So, and the question is very clear. It says, which of the following, if true, would weaken the conclusion that eating only non-genetically modified food leads to a lower risk of heart disease and type 2 diabetes? Okay. The first answer was whose? Let me see. Sham, you are right. Sudeshna, you're wrong. And before that, Bhargav, you're wrong. Ishmeet, wrong. Again, go back to the conclusion. Sarthak, yes, you're right. Go back to the passage, understand it, or read the question itself. It says, eating non-GMO foods leads to lesser risk of type 2 diabetes. I'm ascribing not having type 2 diabetes to not eating GMO foods. Not eating GMO foods. You have to say that there is another reason why they don't have type 2 diabetes. Absolutely. Now you get it. Stuti. Now, people who gave the wrong answer, can you? Yes, Bhargav. It is. Sandeep, read again. सुनना क्या करना है? बोल क्या रहा है? टाइप 2 डायबिटीज उनको कम होती है जो नॉन जीएमओ फूड खाते हैं. तुमको उसको बोलना है कि ना नॉन जीएमओ फूड की बात नहीं है, ये कुछ और है, ये बोलना है. विच वन इज द आंसर? अब इससे भी ज्यादा क्लियर बोलूंगा तो आंसर ही बोलना. Pravalika, let me explain it again. The conclusion, the answer you want is, you want to say that there is one more reason. Sneha, correct. There is one more reason, or there could be many other reasons why people who don't eat non-GMO foods also do not get type 2 diabetes. Mehak, no. Yes, Ishaq, correct. Ishmeet, correct. Absolutely. पहले क्वेश्चन को समझो. If you have not been listening to the question, आस्था no. करना क्या है बताओ, करना क्या है पहले उसको तो समझो. What are we supposed to do? Not eating GMO foods. The passage claims. Suno now, Maitri, Asta, everybody. Okay, listen now. Not eating non-GMO foods, okay, helps you keep away diabetes, type 2 diabetes. That is what the passage claims. I want to say, no, it is not eating GMO foods. It's something else too. Then my argument is gone. Weak हो जाएगा. Passage बोल रहा है कि नॉन जीएमओ फूड नहीं खाने से आपको टाइप 2 डायबिटीज नहीं होती. आपको बोलना है टाइप 2 डायबिटीज नहीं होती, उसके लिए नहीं, और कोई कारण है, मैं बता सकता हूं. कौन सा? मैत्री, सुदेशना, नो यार. What is the question, Sudeshna? Mehak, what is the question? Eating only non-genetically modified foods वहां ईटिंग ओनली नॉन लिख रहा है. क्वेश्चन को पढ़ो ढंग से. रीड द क्वेश्चन केयरफुली. सुदेशना, महक, and there is one more. If I eat only, I'm not talking about poor diets, etc. My question is people who eat only non-genetically modified foods. Now, what you're see, the fifth one could be the answer, but the problem is you are adding some more extra information and you're only talking about one part of it. People, of the people who eat, yes, Mahak, of course. Of the people, see, fifth kyun nahi answer. Why is fifth not the answer? Because, why is fifth not the answer? Because it is talking about only one part of non-GMO foods which could be poor diets. But then what about the others who are not eating poor diets and it is also non-GMO? It is also non-GMO. Now see, type 2 diabetes and heart disease are often exacerbated. Are we talking about the universal set? Are we talking about the universal set that everybody who eats non-GMO foods, only eat non-GMO foods, they all eat poor diets? The fifth one will make that assumption. The fifth one will make that assumption कि non-GMO food खाने वाले बकवास खाना भी खाते हैं. non-GMO food खाने वाले बकवास खाना भी खाते हैं. ठीक है, ठीक है. और या बकवास वाले फूड नहीं खाते. Type 2 diabetes and heart disease are often exacerbated or triggered by poor diets, especially those in high processed food grade. Okay, तो मैं किसकी बात कर रहा हूँ? जो non-GMO food खाते हैं लेकिन हाई इन ये खाते हैं, जो नहीं खाते हैं उन्हीं को नहीं होता होगा. जो हाई लीफ प्रोसेस्ड फूड नहीं खाते हैं उन्हीं को आपको टाइप 2 डायबिटीज नहीं होता होगा, ये बोल रहा है फिर. जबकि मुझे ये बोलना है सिर्फ टाइप 2 डायबिटीज के बारे में बोलना है, उनका डाइट क्या है उसके बारे में सोचना नहीं है, तब जाकर के अटैक होगा. ठीक है, तब क्या बोलना है आपको? कुछ नहीं बोलना कि नॉन जीएमओ फूड पे केवल. आई वांट टू आर्ग्यू दैट इट इज नॉट ईटिंग नॉन जीएमओ फूड्स, इट इज समथिंग एल्स. सो 3 सेज इट वेरी क्लियरली. 3 बोलता है कि भैया मैं एक्सरसाइज करता हूँ, नॉन जीएमओ फूड के चलते मुझे डायबिटीज नहीं हो रहा है, ये मत बोलो. हो सकता है कि नॉन जीएमओ फूड खा रहा हूं तब भी मेरा डायबिटीज हो जाए, मैं एक्सरसाइज करता हूं, दैट इज द रीजन इट्स नॉट हैपनिंग. तो आप गलती से ये नहीं बोल सकते हो कि नॉन जीएमओ फूड के चलते ही नहीं हो रहा. फिफ्थ वाला वही ऑप्शन, मैं नॉन जीएमओ फूड खाता हूं, नॉन जीएमओ फूड खाता हूं, लेकिन अगर मान लो कचड़ा खाता हूं तो फिर तो टाइप 2 डायबिटीज हो जाएगा, तब तो टाइप 2 डायबिटीज हो जाएगा. लेकिन उसके लिए क्या आपको गेस करना पड़ेगा कि यस, एवरीबडी हु ईट्स नॉन जेनेटिकली मॉडिफाइड फूड्स आल्सो ईट से जंक फूड, आल्सो ईट जंक फूड, देयरफॉर दे डेवलप टाइप 2 डायबिटीज. हमको वो नहीं ना कहना है, टाइप 2 डायबिटीज को हमको ये नहीं करना, अटैक नहीं करना. मुझे ये बोलना है कि नॉन जीएमओ फूड नहीं खाने पर टाइप 2 डायबिटीज क्यों नहीं होता? क्योंकि it is not because of food, it's because of something else. Not because of food, it's because of something else. That is the conclusion to be argued against. Therefore, third. Fifth wale mein you'll be arguing for the food, or you'll be arguing for the disease rather than for the food. Fifth wale mein you'll be arguing for the disease. Disease के बारे में बात नहीं करना है. टाइप 2 डायबिटीज दोनों को नहीं होता, ठीक है, माने सॉरी, टाइप 2 डायबिटीज नॉन जीएमओ फूड वाले को नहीं होता, लेकिन वो नॉन जीएमओ फूड के लिए ही है या और किसी के लिए है, दैट विल नॉट चेंज. डायबिटीज नहीं होता है वो नहीं चेंज करेगा, उसको वैसे ही रखना है. मुझे सिर्फ ये बोलना है कि कौन से फूड खाने से, वो फूड खाने से नहीं होता और किसी के चलते मुझे डायबिटीज नहीं हो रहा है, ये बोलना था. इसलिए थर्ड इज द करेक्ट वन. दैट इज द मीनिंग. सो प्लीज अंडरस्टैंड द क्वेश्चन रियली वेल. फिफ्थ लुक्स गुड बिकॉज इट्स अ डिस्ट्रैक्शन, आपको दूसरे जगह पे आर्गुमेंट लेके चला गया इसीलिए. ठीक है, सो अंडरस्टैंड द क्वेश्चन वेल, यू विल नेवर गेट इट रॉन्ग. Very good, Sudeshna. It doesn't, see, if truly covers, how can I say? I can't say. Who said I'm going to say it? You have to take it to be true. You are not supposed to question these. I'm taking this to be true. I'm taking this to be true and then arguing that you're talking about the disease. I want to talk about non-GMO foods ensuring good, healthy life. It's not non-GMO foods, it is something else. In the fifth one, what you're saying is type 2 diabetes and heart disease are often exacerbated, increase ho jata hai by poor dietary foods. Okay, so here what you are saying is, and eating high processed and fat and heavy meat products. Here, what you are trying to say is, it is non-genetically modified foods or also these kind of foods. Okay, and this will actually support that you get by eating non-genetically modified foods, you get diabetes. I don't want to do that. My argument has to be, by eating non-genetically modified foods, I don't get diabetes. Fifth says I get diabetes. समझ में आया? Sudesh now. By eating what is the argument to be made? By eating non-genetically food, I'm healthy, but it is not because of non-genetically modified food. What is the fifth argument? It is non-genetically modified food is what is causing type 2 diabetes, because it is junk food. Okay, not eating non-GMO foods are junk foods. Therefore, they cause type 2 diabetes. Is that the argument? Is that what you want to argue against? That non-GMO foods are junk foods? Is that the argument? Sudeshna? No, we are not even talking about junk foods. Non-GMO foods are not junk foods. Is that what you want to argue? How do you know? Can you say that for certain? मैं genetically modified food नहीं खाता, लेकिन मैं मैदा का ये खा रहा हूँ खूब डेली. मैं I eat मैदा non-refined meat, refined मैदा ही खा रहा हूँ, लेकिन non-GMO food है, non-GMO मैदा है, तो अच्छा होता है क्या? ठीक है. See, GMO can also be made maida. Non-GMO can also be made maida. अब दोनों जंक फूड है, दोनों ही जंक फूड है. अब बताओ. Get my point? Okay. So, and इसीलिए fifth गलत है. Understand the question well, you will be able to do it. ठीक है. Then try the third question. Ask me as many times as you want. I'll try to explain it as well as I can. Strengthens the argument about. Most strengthens the argument. देखना, careful रहना. कौन सा चीज होना ही पड़ेगा, कौन सा चीज होना ही पड़ेगा कि भाई ये जो कंक्लूजन ड्रॉ किया गया वो सही है? Yes, Tuti. That the mentioned belief is no. The author says that it is misplaced and you have to support it. The author says, see, this belief is misplaced and that you need to support. Okay, he gives you the reason why it is misplaced. Because Fabricio, the star of professional soccer, Stacey Camarillo, is less recognized than the best players on 20 different basketball teams. He's less recognized than the 20. He is a star. He's a star. Okay, but he's not recognized. If by taking Fabricio as my premise, I'm trying to prove my point, then what must be true? That will not work, Asta. Ishmeet, that will not work. Read it again. That will actually not give you any clue. Himani, that will not give you any clue. Stuti, yeah, very good. Bhargav, very good. You also have that, very good. Stuti, your answer is correct, yes. Bhargav, you are rightly stuck between two options. Think once more. Read the question. Strengthen kisko karna hai? Ye socho to ho jayega. What has to be strengthened? You'll understand the answer. What has to be strengthened? Himanshu, no. तब तो मैं claim ही नहीं कर पाऊंगा. My claim is, my belief is misplaced that soccer players are the most well-known athletes on the planet. Okay? By citing the fact that professional soccer is televised. So if professional soccer is televised everywhere, then people should be very easily recognizing everybody. People should be very easily recognizing anybody. But what I'm arguing is, that is not the case. Okay? Soccer players are not well recognized. Soccer players are not well recognized. Other players are recognized. Though I don't doubt the fact that soccer is a famous game and it is televised all over the world. I'm not contesting that. That is happening well. But your argument that soccer players are recognized throughout the world is wrong. Because most people cannot. Very good, Shyam. Bhargav, very good. Okay? Ishaq, listen to the question again. फिर एक बार सुनना. हिंदी में समझा दूं पहले. उसके बाद इंग्लिश में एक बार और. What is the argument being made? वे soccer player को पहचानना चाहिए. स्नेहा नो. Ishaq नो. Soccer players को सब लोगों को पहचानना चाहिए क्योंकि सारी दुनिया में वो टेलीकास्ट होती है. लेकिन उल्टे क्या दिखता है कि फैब्रिशियो, जो कि वो फेमस क्लब का मेंबर है, फेमस क्लब का स्टार प्लेयर है, उसको लोग नहीं पहचानते, लेकिन बाकी दूसरे गेम के लोगों को पहचान ले. तो ऐसा होने के लिए क्या चीज पक्का ट्रू होना पड़ेगा? ऐसा होने के लिए कि भाई फैब्रिशियो को लोग पहचानते ही नहीं. महक नो. सार्थक नो. अगेन लेट मी टेल यू, पूरी दुनिया में होने के बाद भी नहीं पहचानते, उसी को सपोर्ट करना है. तो क्वेश्चन को पूछ लेता हूं, तो क्या वो लेस नोन होगा और पूरे वर्ल्ड में वो लेस नोन होगा? वो दिखाई नहीं दे रहा. मैंने वो टीवी पे दिखाता ही नहीं है. इसीलिए भैया वो मैंने क्या बोलते हैं, सॉकर के प्लेयर ज्यादा फेमस नहीं है, ये बोलना चाहता हूं. ये बोलने से हो जाएगा? मेरा कहना है कि भाई सॉकर के प्लेयर्स ज्यादा रिकॉग्नाइजेबल नहीं होते. हालांकि फेमस गेम है, लेकिन सॉकर के प्लेयर नो. समझ नहीं रहो, जरा सा हड़बड़ाओ नहीं. हड़बड़ाओ नहीं, पूरे अच्छी तरीके से समझो, क्वेश्चन को समझो. डोंट ट्राई टू आंसर द क्वेश्चन प्लीज. व्हेन आई एम टॉकिंग लिसन. नहीं तो यही सब करोगे, 1 2 3 4 करते रहोगे. ठीक है, पहले क्वेश्चन को समझो. मुझे बोलना यह है, सॉकर बहुत फेमस गेम होते हुए भी सॉकर के प्लेयर्स को हम नहीं पहचानते, दूसरे गेम के प्लेयर को पहचान लेते. फैब्रिशियो को देखो, हाँ, कोई पहचानता ही नहीं. तो फैब्रिशियो को पहचानता नहीं. अगर मैं ये एग्जाम्पल दे रहा हूं तो फैब्रिशियो बहुत लेस नोन प्लेयर होगा, तब उसका एग्जाम्पल दूंगा. कि बहुत ज्यादा जानते होंगे लोग, तब मैं उसका एग्जाम्पल दूंगा. लेट्स नॉट यूज फैब्रिशियो. सुन लो, लेट्स यूज द नेम ऑफ मेसी. सुनना यार, बोला जाता है कि भाई सॉकर तो पूरी दुनिया में दिखाई जाती है, तो मेसी का नाम तो हर किसी को जानना चाहिए. नहीं, सब जोकोविच का नाम जानते हैं, मेसी का नाम उतना नहीं जानते हैं, जबकि पूरी टीवी इसमें चलता है. तो मेसी को कैसा होना चाहिए कि लेस नोन प्लेयर हो या वेल नोन प्लेयर हो. नहीं तो मैं एग्जाम्पल क्यों लूंगा मेसी का. लेस नोन प्लेयर होगा तो उसके लिए एग्जाम्पल ले रहा हूं, या वेल नोन प्लेयर होगा इसीलिए मैं एग्जाम्पल ले रहा हूं. अब तो बता दो. अशाद. हाँ, अशाद. फैब्रिशियो की जगह पे लायनल मेसी कर लो, उसके बाद सुनो. तो हो तो गया, आंसर तो मिल गया. यही करना है. कैन यू डू इट इन हिंदी, इन योर ओन लैंग्वेज? Can you translate the entire thing into your own language and do it? You can do it because nobody is asking you whether you thought in English or not. ठीक है, you are not being marked for thinking in English or thinking in Punjabi or thinking in any language you want. Okay, so think in your own language and then do it. Don't go blindly into it. Don't go blindly into the question. Understand the question well. What is being sought to be strengthened? सेंटेंस में किस चीज को स्ट्रेंथन करने की बोल रहा है. बोले कि भाई फैब्रिशियो का एग्जांपल देकर मैं ये पॉइंट को प्रूव करना चाहता हूं कि भाई सॉकर फेमस होते हुए भी फेमस नहीं है, मैंने लोगों को पहचान नहीं पाते. तो वो फेमस होगा, फैब्रिशियो फेमस होगा तभी तो पूरी दुनिया में दिखाते हुए भी लोग पहचान नहीं पाते उसको. गेट द पॉइंट. फिफ्थ पॉइंट. ओके, लेट्स ट्राई द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. ओके, now the next question here. Question number 4. See, people who are able to answer it, they have developed one skill, that is they understand what is to be strengthened and what is to be weakened, because they are going for that crux. Okay, you understand the main point well. Undermines means weakens. First of all, Sneha, that is the point being. वही करना है. Even though he is well known, तब भी उसे पहचानने नहीं जा रहा. Sneha, even though he is well known, that is the point being made. That's what you want to strengthen. You say, though he is well known, what would you expect? Though he's a star player, what would you expect? He should be well known. People should be able to recognize him. He is a star player, no doubt. He is televised all over the world, no doubt. but still people are not able to recognize him. That is the point being made in the passage. And what are you asking me? What, then how is he not recognized more than other players? I just want you to support the claim made in the passage, not do anything else. And understand this. Okay. One, see, one may be the correct option, but there could also be one more option, and we will decide. One may be the answer. There may also be other answers. What is the claim being made in the passage? What is the claim being made in the passage? Okay. Again, Bhargav, I say one is in the radar. One is in the radar. Get me one more option and then let us evaluate. Let's look at one more close option and then evaluate. Sneha, you're right. Answer is correct. Sneha. Sandeep, no. Ishak, no. Ashad, right. Absolutely. But do you know why? Do you know why? Now, again, I'm going to help you with. I'm going to help you with that. The main point of the passage. You try to understand that. What is sought to? No, Sneha, no. The explanation is wrong. Though the answer was right. See, let me explain this to you. The thing that we seek to, yes, Sarthak, very good. The thing that we are trying to undermine. Before that, what is the claim being made? The claim being made is long distance runners, because they have time to study when they are running, because they have time to study in the sense they can use their mind while they are running. Therefore, we are getting higher grades. Therefore, we are getting higher grades. Now, I want to say, no, it's not because of the time they get. It's because of something else. It's not because of the time they get to study even while running. Okay, even while running. That's why they are able to do it. Okay, no, there is another reason. There is another reason that they are doing well in studies. The cross-country runners are doing well in studies. Let me finish that sentence also. Which one? It's not that they have time to think. Yes, Sarthak. Very good. Hmm. Absolutely. Third is the one. The cross-country team is among the few teams that do not require a tryout. So you're not going to waste much time there. One. And this is popular activity for high achieving students. One, they are high achieving. And they are also not using that much time. Okay, they don't need to try out. Okay, so they do not have as much time also. So they are not supposed to spend time. So you can actually put it in their studies. And they are high achieving students. Though this is the reason it's doing well. The cross country team is doing well. Is because the cross country team is doing well, not because they have enough time during the tryout, etc., to study, but because one, they don't require so much time, and two, because they are already good students. Because they are already good students, you have effectively counter-argued. What about the first one? Okay, cross-country running is more strategic than many realize, requiring runners to expend more. Now, just because you are spending more mental energy in some one part doesn't mean that you cannot also concentrate on your studies. Doesn't mean that. Okay, but one seems to be arguing very well against the main this one. The phenomenon can most likely be attributed to the fact that long distance runners have so much time to think while running that they can easily study as they run. Okay, so and here the sentence says cross-country running is more strategic than many realize, requiring runners to expend mental energy thinking about race tactics. Less or more? Less or more is not said. Does it take up the entire time, or it is just more than the others, but minimal? It requires more than the other races, but it is minimal, but still they have time. Can you make that clear from this sentence? From the first one, kitna time chahiye? Okay, it says they expend more mental energy for 1 minute, for 2 minutes, more mental energy thinking about the strategy, or longer duration. Does it mean that more, if they use more mental energy, it also means they are spending a lot of time? They are also spending a lot of time in thinking about the tactics, therefore they are not able to study. Can you say that for certain? Can you say that for certain? Though it will weaken it, but the problem is the question mark. They expend more energy, but how much time do they take? Don't they get any time to think about studies at all? We don't know. What portion of the time that they are running is devoted to strategizing is not given. They spend more energy. So I have to think about one thing. Okay, I very quickly make out, okay, this is what has to be done. Okay, I'm done and I have got time for studying. Still, more doesn't mean, okay, it says requiring runners to expend mental energy. More strategic, it is more strategic. Okay, it does not say it is more time consuming. So when I say I expend more mental energy, how much do I spend? Do I not get the time? Is it completely eaten up by the strategy? Thinking about the strategy, does it take the entire time I'm running? Can't say for certain. Can't say for certain. Okay. And there is one more thing. Can't say for certain. Therefore, one cannot be very clearly said to be the answer. But third is correct. Third gives you extra time also. Third gives you extra time also. And the thing is, the students are always already bright. तो ये दोनों पर तो भाई ग्रेड तो बढ़ ही जाएगा. ठीक है. ठीक है, तो ग्रेड तो बढ़ ही जाएगा. वो रनर्स के लिए बढ़ेगा, बिकॉज वो जो हाई परफॉर्मिंग स्टूडेंट्स हैं, जो ज्यादा दिमाग वाले हैं, वो जाकर के क्रॉस कंट्री वाले में ही ज्वाइन कर लेते. क्रॉस कंट्री वाले में ही ज्वाइन कर लेते हैं. उनको टाइम भी या undermine the conclusion. The cross country, see, how does it undermine the conclusion? What is it that you are attributing it to? Hold on. पहले भूल जाते हो स्थिति. दिक्कत वो है. This is what is to be. On the basis of this, he says the grades are exceeding, because they get time to think while they are running. Average will anyhow increase because they are high achieving students. They will make up for the other students. Sarthak says, see, Sarthak has another point. He says, because they are high achieving students, they'll actually push up the numbers for other weaker students also. So एवरेज ग्रेडिंग तो अधिक हो ही जाएगा, एवरेज ग्रेडिंग तो अधिक हो ही जाएगा सार्थक. And Suti, look at this. It says because they have so much time to think, therefore this they are exceeding in academics because they get time to study while they are running. I have to say no. It is not because of the time that they get during running, but because of something else. Yes, who pushes the average grade up? Or you just need to say you have to counter argue that it is not the time to think. It's not the time to think because of the time people think and they become good, therefore they score high and the averages go up. No, the averages go up because of something else. That's what you're supposed to say. The averages do not go up because of studying during running. Yes, exactly. Get the point. Therefore, the third one. Okay. Very good. Okay. Badhiya, Sarthak, very nice. Now, try this. If true, most seriously we can see the argument about. Why is it not visible properly? Is it okay now? Neha, correct. Neha, your answer is correct. Sandeep, absolutely. Very nice. Bhargav, absolutely. Very good. Sarthak, very good. Very nice. See, we simply need to say that it's not because of Astha, very good. We simply need to say it's not because of gathering that the brain has become big. It's simply because they've grown older. It's simply because they've grown older, not because they are gathering. Okay. If I do that, then I've counter argued. Okay. I'm giving you another reason. It's because of getting older, not because of Himani, wrong, but a fifth is the correct answer. Fifth is the correct answer. Okay. क्योंकि बताना क्या था, सिर्फ इतना बोलना था कि भैया रिसर्च पेपर सेज कि the brains of older ants become bigger because they are gathering and that and this. But even when they are not gathering, just because they are old, the brain is bigger. Okay, so which means I have counter-argued it. You cannot say that, you cannot attribute the reason to gathering. Okay, and that's all. That was an easy question. Okay, so fifth one is the correct one. Absolutely. Bahut badhiya. Okay. So let's meet in the next class. Thank you all very much. See you in the next class. Bye-bye.